This past week has been crazy for Poppy Playtime news. Ever since the release of Chapter 4, we haven't been getting that much news, but we finally just got some huge crazy things. Mostly regarding merch, with a whole bunch of brand new plushies for characters we've been waiting for, like Ruin Huggy, some brand new smiling critters, a whole bunch of cool brand new shirts. Like, just look at these shirts, they look really good, including some storyboards and behind the scene looks at Chapter 4, something we've been waiting to see the storyboards for Chapter 4, and a bunch more. Without further ado, let's just go hop into the video and start off with the merch. So the very first bit of merch is of course from Toy Wiz. You can go on toywiz.com to look at half of these. Well, we got here 4 new plushies from a company which we're definitely gonna go talk about after I'm done showing them, with the first one being Dog Day. These some reason have like different prices, but Dog Day is retailing for around $22, and as you guys can see here, it's just the basic Dog Day plush. It's not a deluxe form or anything like that. I think the plush body type and like everything around it still looks good. For the price, I think you're getting a decent good plush. I gotta be fully honest here, it does look really good. Of course, this is just a stock photo, not an in-person look, but they also went and made Catnap. Catnap is cheaper for some reason, even though they're both 15 inches, but Catnap is literally the exact same thing. Does not have a long tail, but it still looks really decent for being a Catnap plush, and I gotta say, like, they look like good, decent plushies, and of course they resemble a lot of the Culture Fly mini Smiling Critter Deluxe plushies they released later, or earlier last year. So like, yeah, it's really interesting to see that. But this company is also making a Killy Willy plush. Yes, the second official Killy Willy plush. Would you believe it or not? Sadly, it is sold out, but it is 16 inches tall, and it just literally just Huggy Wuggy, you know, black, has a mouth in his stomach, the teeth, and a whole bunch of eyes that are all embroidered on there. So it's definitely a decent plush. Really interested to see more merch off this guy, even though he was only in Project Playtime. So maybe Project Playtime's coming back, and this is a sign. Just kidding. I don't want to give you guys hopes up just for one Killy Willy plush, but hey, he's getting some recognition. Why not Boxy Boo? But we're also getting a Huggy Wuggy plush because why not? It's 16 inches tall. He's for around $19, and it's literally just a Huggy Wuggy plush because you can't have Poppy Playtime merch without having the one and only Huggy Wuggy. One thing that's really interesting is that the company that's making these plushies is Good Stuff, and all the FNAF fans know Good Stuff. They're known for making some interesting plushies in the FNAF community, some looking very memeable, some looking actually decent, and most of the time the plushies just look kind of terrible. They're kind of like a carnival type, you know, claw machine type plushies to get. So it's definitely interesting to see that they're finally got the Poppy license, so they might make good characters, but I guess only time will be able to tell. Also on Toy Wiz, you can see they have the unscented versions of the mini Smiling Critter plushies. They look a little bit derpy, but yes, they do have them on Toy Wiz, and you can also get them at Five Below, and it's definitely a lot cheaper at Five Below, but yeah, you could find these in the wild now. But moving on, the Japan pop-up shop posted a image here showing 2 brand new plushies coming out. One of them just being Kissy Missy, which is of course pretty cool because, you know, Kissy Missy plushies. But then we got our very first official ruined, destroyed, however you want to call it, Huggy plush. You can see people selling it on eBay, of course, and they're gonna sell it for a wild price because, well, it's only found in Japan, sadly, so all us fans who aren't in Japan are gonna have to pay a lot more to get these, so it's definitely really sad. But yes, it still looks very good. I really want this plush. Stay tuned because I might be getting it to review, but who knows. But Walmart is also releasing some of the Fat Mojo plushies that was released a long time ago, but now finally giving it a chance for people to get them, being PJ Pillar and Bunzo Bunny as a set for $35. It is a pre-order that's going to ship in September, but yeah, I just thought I'd let you guys know about this because it's pretty cool, including the deluxe Catnap monster action figure, which we did talk about in this video here, and we talked about a while on this channel, and this is going to be the last time I'm talking about it until I go and review it, because yes, I did order one of these, and I am going to be getting it a lot faster because this is Walmart. Of course, it has the pre-order date, since it is a pre-order, it's going to be shipping around September 10th, which is like over 4 months away-ish, and only for $26, which I do think is a decent price. And Epic Drops also has the exact same Catnap action figure for the exact same price, and also around September 29th, being a later shipping date. So of course, we have a long time to wait before this plush is fully released in the US, but it has released early outside of the US. As you guys can see, thanks to, you know, this Twitter user, Catnap, we can see some in-hand look at the action figure that how it looks so good, and also it's really huge. But yes, I was able to go on eBay and get myself one of these action figures, which should be coming in around 2 weeks or so, so definitely go and subscribe and stay tuned for a review on that and half the other merch you guys have seen in this video. So, you know, if you want to stay up to date with Poppy Playtime news and of course merch reviews and everything Poppy Playtime, this is definitely the channel for you. But moving on to other merch, Mob Entertainment just released yesterday a new lineup of, I guess, Nightmare variants of Catnap and Huggy Wuggy shirts. Of course, being Nightmare Huggy Wuggy, Nightmare Catnap, and of course the Gas Hallucination Nightmare Catnap. These look really cool. Of course, they're pretty expensive in my opinion, being 32, but they are really good designs, of course. So I think they're definitely reasonable, I guess. You guys could definitely let me know in the comments below that. And also a brand new Bunzo Bunny Pop Playtime shirt. For some reason, he's just there. We don't really question it. But also, Japan did release some brand new like pin set. Thanks to this Twitter user you guys can see here. There's a new little like mystery blind bag type thing, which looks pretty cool. It's fire to collect, and it's just a fun little thing that Japan has and we don't. But Mob Entertainment also went and released the whole chapters 1 to 3 on consoles on Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch, with it fully being released with the physical edition called the Triple Pack. And before you ask in the comments, sadly we have no idea when Chapter 4 is coming out on consoles or in mobile, most likely before Chapter 5 releases. But I guess sadly only time will be able to tell. They did have a cool video, they did have some cool graphics, showed a little bit of the inside art for the Nintendo Switch version, which we did see before many months ago, and many people just kind of forgot about that. But yeah, it's some pretty cool stuff. Moving away from the merch and more for the game news, Chapter 2 just had its 3-year anniversary, like, what, 4 or 5-ish days ago, which was, absolutely crazy. You can't believe it's been 3 years since Chapter 2 came out. It's just crazy how fast time flies by. And Amber, of course, made this amazing art for Mommy Longlegs, saying, "Mommy Longlegs, Poppy Playtime." But also, later this week or later last week, May 7th, my birthday, I'm not teen whippy. But it wasn't just that. It was also the 1-year anniversary for the Poppy Playtime Orientation Notebook, which is, of course, the very first official Poppy Playtime notebook. So it's very cool to see that, we of course mentioned in this video here, we're getting another book later on, so don't forget to watch that when you're done. But Amber did go and release, like, later on, earlier that week, more behind the scene look of work that she did on the book. And as you guys can see, it's just amazing showing how the different pages that she worked on, and the artwork, like some of the shots from the cartoon, some shots from Mommy Longlegs and Huggy Wuggy, including the one with the Bigger Bodies Initiative Bobby Bear Hug, which is just great to see. And Amber posted a whole bunch of great artwork for Chapter 4 and just a whole bunch of other Poppy Playtime related stuff that she did on live streams on her Twitter page, so I definitely go and recommend you to go and check it out. It's some amazing artwork, trust me. But now let's get on to the juicy and interesting stuff. Amber went and released a whole behind the scenes animation concept, I guess, workups for Chapter 4. It's around an 8-minute video. I definitely recommend you to go check it out. The video will be linked in the description. But in this video, she just went and showed some in-game behind-the-scenes stuff, or how things look, like how she worked on some of the, cardboard cutouts, how she did lots of the different textures around this place for posters and blanket artworks. It just looks really cool. Even the lemon, which we went and talked about in this behind the scenes videos, but also some behind the scenes animation for like Doey going through the door, and how in this scene, instead of having a smiling critter plush have its head fall off, it was supposed to be a regular just toy from like Chapter 1, the one and only Cappy. But sadly, no, it was cut. We can see other animation scenes from the Yarnaby chase, or the first Yarnaby chase, not the second one. We can see the scene from like the prototype, when the prototype went and dragged the player around. We can see how Amber went and animated the leg movement for the prototype, and we can also see the full reveal of the prototype of the full reveal of the many legs the prototype will have, including the walk cycle, which is, I think, her first time making a walk cycle. Some more cut storyboard scenes for, of course, in-game cutscenes, like when you meet the doctor, seeing a little bit of the early look of how the doctor's room was supposed to look like, including some of her behind-the-scenes look at, the chapters, all the cinematic chapter trailers that we really seen for Chapter 4. We see that Amber helped work on the storyboards for it, and they all just look really cool. It's just really cool to see the behind-the-scenes look at all the different cinematic trailers, including some of the promotional material that she's been posting, like the Halloween ones, the Thanksgiving one that we've been looking at for hints and Easter eggs, with her also confirming half the stuff that she did in there and all the little Easter eggs in there that was meant to be, for Chapter 4, which is just really cool to see half our theories get confirmed. It's just really amazing to see all those videos we made theories about and all just getting confirmation, including the beach scene with, Huggy Wuggy's leg equaling 4, like, we finally got the answer to that. So definitely go check out that video. It's a lot more interesting when you watch the full thing. But for the last little bit of news, Spencer did go and get permission to go and show the early versions of the Chapter 4 banner for Steam, showing all the different versions of Huggy, which just looks really interesting to see the different faces Huggy would have been given, and also the grin and the smile and how it's supposed to be sharp at one end versus being smoother, his eyes being a little bit smaller versus being wider. It's just very interesting to see the difference, including the funny T-posing doughy right there. But for the last little bit of news, it's not really news, but it's something very interesting, is that a new Fortnite survey came out talking about different characters and games that people like to see in Fortnite. And one of the funny things is FNAF was listed on there, but if you look up, Poppy Playtime was listed on there. This does not mean Poppy Playtime is coming to Fortnite, but it definitely seems interesting that they're putting it in a survey to maybe see if people like Poppy Playtime, and maybe if people want to see it as a collab, because if Poppy and Fortnite gets a collab, that's going to be absolutely crazy, and I guess that'll be technically my first Fortnite video, but who knows? FNAF might get Fortnite first. But this is still definitely something interesting to keep an eye out. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. You guys can let me know in the comments below what you guys do think about all the brand new Poppy Playtime news. What do you think about all the brand new merch? And sorry, it's been over like 2 weeks since my last video. I have been sick, sadly, of course, some of you guys know. So yeah, it's been pretty hard to work on videos since I was out and then I was sick. But hey, it's back, and whenever we get more news like that, I'll definitely do more videos. And I have some good reviews cooking up for, you know, the catnap action figure and other stuff like that. But don't forget to watch this video here to see other Poppy Playtime news, and also this video here to stay tuned for other reviews.